마루, 조성주, 라그나로, 신이범, 이노베이션, 이신영, 제스트, 주성우. 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 1 코드 S 쇼다운.
What's up, everybody? It's time for the rematch and the final best of 3 in the round of 16. We're wrapping up Group D here. There's one slot remaining in top 8. It's either going to be Maru or RagnaroK. Now, I think on paper everybody says, yeah, Maru's going to take this for sure, right? But RagnaroK's been playing really well today. He already 2-0'd Zest in some pretty wild games. He really held his own against Maru, losing to Maru 1-2.
Yeah.
It's possible RagnaroK could take this. It really is.
It is possible, but I mean, this is the final match. They have more information on each other now than they did before. I think Maru has already reacted to RagnaroK a bit better. Let's not forget, Maru is always here with coaches, so they can tell him, hey, RagnaroK scouted like a madman for proxy raxes.
True.
So then Maru's not going to get caught proxy raxing, right? Like, I don't think he'll proxy rax, or if he does, he'll have his coaches and teammates and stuff, and he will have analyzed the pattern of the scouting and put it somewhere that he's not likely to look.
Okay, the game is now loading up. Maru and RagnaroK. RagnaroK one of 2 Zergs remaining in the GSL. The other is Dark. Maru, the 4-time GSL champion, here to win a 5th, but RagnaroK stands in his way. Let's see who comes out on top in this best of 3.
전투 준비 완료. 지인의 그린 웨이즈, 마루, 조성주. 라그나로크, 신이범.
You can see, looking like a madman once again for those proxy barracks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Maru does this so often, with the exception of today.
Yeah. I almost feel like the amount he's been doing that, Maru should have opened up the command center first. Because it's like, you're scouting so hard that your overlords are not even going to hit Maru's base for 100 years. And all that.
But it shows Maru's instinct is quite good to just know when to stop.
Yeah.
You know? You have to try to keep the other players so much on their toes that, kind of like in a poker game with, you know, how much you're betting, you know, and what you're trying to show, you know, or how often do you just fold your hand. There's a whole art form to that. And, you know, less experienced players will have such a hard time trying to figure out what cards you're actually holding. And I think Maru does that a lot with his openings here, too. You know, he proxied so many times that people just never thought he would do it again. You know, and he just kept doing it. It's like, okay.
He made it go full circle, where it's like, well, it's not good anymore. And then you just keep doing it so it becomes good. It's like, you know, jokes like that, where the joke isn't funny, but you just keep keep going until they laugh, and then it actually becomes funny because you kept going.
Yeah, there's all this complexity. Yeah, sure.
I know you know that because you've done it before.
So, RagnaroK tried to go into a macro game in the previous games here. He actually had some good counterattacks, but didn't keep the right balance where he could both counterattack and kill workers and have a chance to hold off the push that was coming at him.
Well, that is the art, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very, very, very difficult thing to do.
Hey, very different build here. Very different. Going starport right away instead of 3rd command.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it's refreshing to see him mix it up here into this next game. And of course, you're going to look at those other games and be like, well, he loves 3 commands. Here, if you try to do any sort of cheese or anything, you're done. You're done. He'll have Banshees. It'll just be held.
Yeah, you're completely right. And so this time around, he's going to be, you know, at least have the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive here. There's the 3rd CC now. So ordering a little bit different here, but I do feel like with these two players, you know, because Zest is a little bit different. You know, Zest tries to do these really early timing attacks and kind of get the Zerg off their footing, where Maru, he'll do pressure, but he usually wins with these crazy late game just smash you pushes, you know, where he's controlling everything. He splits his army perfectly. Your banelings don't connect well, and you win.
Yeah, he'll kind of grind you over time and finish you off with this great macro overall. Well, everything looking kind of standard, but we do have that Roach Warren coming up from RagnaroK. So maybe that's a change that he wants to make here, some sort of Roach-based play. 6 Roaches.
Very cool. Good close. That was about as last second as is physically possible to do.
Yeah, he actually gets up and sees, excuse me, Banshee and Cloak on the way. That's really a very useful scout.
Yeah, no kidding. Excellent work so far. Those Roaches have hatched. We have Stim on the way here. I don't think Terran's going to commit too much until that is out.
Yeah, the Banshees just should think about trying to get some harassment done. But of course, with Roaches popping out, you can play on the defense as well.
And so the Roaches are actually looping around. They're going right through the center of the map here. Already getting the first kill we just saw on camera.
I think once they're spotted, you have to back up.
Yeah, I think if you try to commit with this, you're going to lose all the Roaches.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless. Well, you can sit at home and block some of the harassment your opponent's going to try.
And we saw 2 eBays thrown down, telegraphing that Maru is going to be waiting to have a lot more upgrades here and be much stronger in the late game as far as infantry goes. But he can still move out with these Hellions and the Reaper and try to do damage wherever there's an opening.
Yeah. That is what he'll be going for here, with some Roaches and Queens on the way to this third base.
And these areas are tight enough, he probably won't commit into them unless the Roaches somehow get pulled into a worser position.
Yeah. I hate it when Roaches get pulled into a worser position.
A lot of barracks being thrown down now. You know, the third base is going to be set up pretty shortly here. And I think Maru just leaning into, you know, what he's great at, which is late game, you know. Very hard to see Maru ever lose in a really drawn-out late game situation, and I think he's just going to play it very safe, harass in a conservative fashion, get in there, but don't ever overextend.
Now, Roach speed as well as melee and carapace, he is adding more Roaches as well. This is interesting. I wonder, is RagnaroK going to go for, like, a gigantic attack, or are we going to see one of these games where you just kind of use this composition to comfortably get into Ultralisks?
Well, I mean, there is a oh, hold on. Whoa! 10 kills! Damn. Okay, so let me answer your question real quick here.
Yeah.
I think it's possible he does some kind of specific attack here.
Huh.
You know, it's yeah, here we have the Ravagers being made right now. Looks like he wants to come out here pretty quickly.
A lot of the times when you want to do that, it's like starts with ranged attack and then goes into melee afterwards. So that's kind of what I oftentimes look for to see if they're going to attack or not. Yeah, he does have those 6 Ravagers, has 8 Roaches.
There might be a unique moment with what the unit compositions that are available for Terran is that he can actually start to assert himself on the map. Now, 1-1's about to finish. Remember, guys, when you see a Roach Ravager, they tend to not be setting themselves up for the healthiest position in a long game.
Yeah, if you stay relatively low and you kind of use the Ravagers scale reasonably well into the later game. You can use Ravagers for quite some time and have them continually bring value, but the more Roaches you see kind of popping out and running around,
right?
Those things have like an expiration date.
Right. You're never in the end game pumping out a bunch of Roaches.
They're milk, not wine.
Yeah.
Medevacs, those are wine.
Yeah.
Marines, those are Twinkie bars, man. They just never go bad.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the Roaches are yogurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's past the Best Buy date, even if it smells good, I throw out my yogurt.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to eat yogurt this old. What am I?
Yeah.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Now,
that'd be a great Battle.net ID, old yogurt.
Old yogurt.
You gotta cheese people if your name is Old Yogurt.
Ew, the old yogurt's so gross, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we have like kind of almost lists of the best IDs.
Yeah.
Whenever we see them. Now there's another attack coming in here, and I mean I don't see enough for RagnaroK. Oh, hold on, I spoke way too soon. I was gonna say those are not gonna cut it. Just that those units there, and you know we're gonna have to see a push coming here from Maru pretty soon. Although he's got lots of roaches, lings, and ravagers, it almost seems like he wants Maru to try to attack into him, and then he can smash it.
Yeah,
and it looks like that time is now.
Totally. But I think that as Maru, you're going to be doing little harassments like this, right? Trying to find them out of position, but your full-on attack, you've got to wait for like 2-2 to finish. 2-2 or max out, or oftentimes both of those at the same time. Just bringing everything up. I'd love to see how far along the upgrades are.
Okay, he's going to try to push to the bottom here, and RagnaroK backs up, but does knock out one tank. It's a lot of siege mode hops away from being in range of hatcheries here, and there's more banelings in the mail as well. Now, interestingly enough, Maru's basically trying to hit 2 different locations and force the task juggling of RagnaroK here to be so split up that he can't cover both locations. And in this case, he does snap down the hatchery.
Wow,
Sometimes,
those banelings really wrecked, but he barely got it.
Sometimes StarCraft is just a game of trying to have your opponent screen in the wrong place at the wrong time.
At the pro level, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what we just saw there. He just ran in, targeted the hatch, blew it up, and got out.
Yeah, that's some real military tactics for you right there. If they're not paying attention, you can get so much damage done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you think of how quickly stimmed Marines can both deal damage and then pick up and be off the ground, if you're not ready, it is not even a trade for the Terran.
Yeah.
It's just a win.
Okay, once again, looks like he might be able to force a cancel. Yeah, down it goes. Picks up.
Beautifully
gets
done.
Out. But let's not forget that RagnaroK has been building towards something. He's still basically maxed out. Yeah, he doesn't have a gigantic bank or anything, but he's getting up into that Ultra Scav, and he has 3-3 on the way. And the 3-3 is lined up really well with Maru's, so he's not going to be behind in upgrades.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's still... Well, is he going to try to do it again?
I don't know if he's going to be able to get any of it done this time. Ooh, that was a really great mine connection. Really needs an overseer over here.
Yeah, no kidding. 11 kills on that one Widow mine.
That was the Baneling one, I think.
Maru
remember that 28 kill Widow mine earlier today? Wow, those were the days, huh?
Yeah. Looks like he's trying to just blind counter it there. But again, we have this cool idea here from Maru. He's just going to have his army evenly split on 2 different corners.
Yeah.
And
well, that can be the weakness of Road Ravager, right?
Yeah, they require a lot of manual input as well to really be used correctly. You can't set it and forget it.
Oh, these mines that he's brought in definitely can help out a lot. Well,
yeah,
he gets rid of basically all the banelings and still has some stuff left over. Going to continue the assault here on the hatchery.
Great control here. Yeah, I think he's going to be able to get this hatchery. Oh, what a frustrating moment this must be right now for RagnaroK. How many times has he actually lost that hatchery?
Yeah, he's been taking bruising at the sides the entire game here. But he's kind of reaching this ultimate tech, right? He's about to have 3-3 in Chitinous. He has Ultras being made. He's throwing up that Spire as well. I think we'll probably see some Corruptors added in to chase away Medevacs.
You know, I think tech-wise he's fine, but he's not been able to drink up enough of the resources at these bases that he's trying to take, you know? And that means if Maru has one really big fight with his whole army, he probably comes out on top. Great Widow Mines once again.
Yeah.
Can he try to come in here and get some of these Banelings? Yes, he can.
But you know what? When these Ultras join the fray, I think that suddenly RagnaroK might have a little bit of the army advantage. So Maru's going to be careful about that. This
Great
is beautiful
splitting again. Oh my gosh. Nothing connected effectively. Whoa! Meanwhile, the 6 o'clock spot is totally poked out. This game is hard to keep track of, guys. Hold up here.
Yeah, Maru absolutely everywhere. RagnaroK will come back and defend that.
Oh my gosh, the push continues on here. Can Maru take out another base This is deep in the Zerg's territory, and my God, Maru is all over the place, man.
Yeah, his multitasking completely out of control right now. Yeah, some nice... Oh, well, he's going to deal with that one. Well, you can't micro everywhere at once.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, my God, I love that. I love it.
Yeah, he's like, you were eventually going to do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I guess
beautiful.
if you have that much, you know, that many expansions, just set it up so that medevacs cannot get in.
When people make one spore in their main, I've said this a lot of times, if you make one spore, that's when you know they're going to lose a bunch of stuff in the main.
Yeah.
But three spores in a spine next to each other, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, it's great. Now, RagnaroK has kept up, despite, you know, the numerous hatchery losses we've seen so far. The problem is
my
that
God.
Maru is so good at exploiting the weakness of the Ultralisk, which is that it can be kited against.
Yeah. But right now, we need some Corruptors mixed in. I think that is a key thing. Look at this, 27 Marauders. We just saw that little group of Marauders pick off an Ultra. That's how Maru's going to try to continue to gain edges here. Just microing really heavily against the Ultras, because it is hard to split those. But you can punish things like that. If it's too Marauder heavy, guess what? You can kill the medevacs.
Sure. They'll just continue to attack the air, and if they try to pick up, they'll end up losing everything. Again, great targeting there. Maru is so good. My God, look at this, man.
Yeah, his Marauders are doing quite a job on RagnaroK right now.
Is that 5 times that hatchery's been denied?
Oh, at least.
You know, the only unit that can really catch up to these Marines and Marauders is Zerglings. But a lot of times, the Marauders have targeted down the Ultras or the Ravagers. You know, and when they even get that surround, you just pick them back up.
All right, so, you know, the Parasitic Bomb doing a good job right there, helping to clean up a couple of the medevacs. And we see the +1 air attack, so definitely the thought is here to add in these Corruptors at this point. Would really love to see him pull the trigger on that, but Maru is keeping him so busy right now. He's just attacking everywhere. Oh, the medevac goes down from the Widow Mine splash. Only 5 medevacs, so you see, like, it's still a very big and scary army for Maru, but, you know, it's not like he's recycling as much as he was before, right?
No.
Some of these other games, he's got 12, 13 medevacs flying around the whole time.
One thing is that Zerg is never really on the offense here. They're just chasing away these pushes. I mean, you know, big picture here, I think Maru is actually continuing to take the lead here. As the game goes on, the more Zerg has to stretch itself to even get any resources, and that's where the Terran, I think, will eventually succeed in this tug of war over map and resource control here. A little bit of a mistake dropping into the Banelings again.
Yeah.
You know, 12 o'clock is not ever being kept. 6 o'clock appears like it's probably going to be, well, hold on.
You can see him focusing so hard on killing off Ultras, because that is the expensive unit here. Oh my God, that's a lot of Banelings.
That is a ridiculous amount of Banes. But I think the Marauder splitting's good enough.
Yeah, it might be. It looks like he does end up losing a few here and there. A lot of his Ravagers going to end up falling as well.
And Mules are going to be spammed out of these exterior expansions here. Just suck up as many of the resources as you can there. Because as much of that as you get, it's going to be very hard for the Zerg to compensate for that. They get a hatchery that they got to slow mine it with drones. And really, in a game like this, where basically every expansion is going to be taken, almost all the resources on the map are going to be mined out. It's all about trading efficiently. And that's where every Baneling snipe, every Ultra snipe, every Ravager snipe, well, it's going to be a big victory for you.
If he hadn't been doing that, you know how many Ultras would be out right now?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like 12 Ultras on the map.
There'd be too many, and he would get run over, but he's kept the Ultra count low.
Yeah, the Ultra, I don't even know how many Ultras he has. It's probably like, yeah, look at that, he's got 2.
Yeah. About to be 1 here, too.
Just Maru so good playing on the edges here, poking in and out, harassing, keeping pressure on.
Another hatchery goes down. I mean, this is really incredible what Maru's doing here.
He's so good. He's so ridiculously good.
He's just so fast that he's slowly garbage compacting RagnaroK.
Slowly garbage compacting. It's a good way to say it.
Yeah.
It's definitely what I'm looking at.
It's like what happened to Shredder in the Ninja Turtles movie, man.
So brutal.
Now, it doesn't seem like RagnaroK is able to, yeah, that's just it. He fizzles out. GG. Sick game.
Yeah. All right. So
Maru, I think he's probably going to keep playing like that. Bring the game to its outer limits and just show that you are bigger, faster, stronger than RagnaroK.
Well, RagnaroK holds on very well. Like, let's say the 3 base period of the game. Very, very well. 4th base gets a little bit tough. He kind of starts bringing it back later into the game, but Maru just keeps so much pressure on him. Feels like it's impossible.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, actually, what he's able to
Well, he had
do.
literally no anti-air the entire game except a couple Vipers. So I think that made it a little bit more difficult. Maru was doing such a great job with the Marauders picking off Ultras, too. That was
I think that was one of the biggest factors there. If he was able to get, like, let's say, 7 or 8 Ultras and actually attack into a location where there's so much, I guess, hit points on those Ultras that the Terran has to keep kiting back further and further into their side of the map. But instead, yeah, it was never more than 1 or 2 in a fight, and that's enough that then you can pick up, relocate, and basically Zerg's getting worn down. But this is a thing about the way that Maru plays that's very unique to him, is he is so good at macro that he basically outpaces the Zerg. He ends up, in some ways, taking the Zerg's role.
Yeah, he takes all the entire map and kind of keeps Zerg in his base and doesn't let him do very much. Seems like counterattacking him did a little bit better for RagnaroK before than this kind of sitting back version of play.
Yeah, he tried to hold his own, but... And it's hard, man. I mean, when you have Marine Marauder that upgraded, a hatchery does not last long.
No, it doesn't.
You know, even when he sees it, the Banelings have to then touch the target.
Yeah, yeah.
And by then, usually the hatchery is already gone.
Well, this is part of the reason why you need creep spread everywhere, Zerglings everywhere, and that's what Maru works really hard on denying.
Yeah, it all starts with a few Hellions in the middle of the map, killing the creep, but it goes on the whole game. And eventually, he's always taking fights off creep.
Yeah. Well, definitely a dominating performance there from Maru in game number 1. But RagnaroK, still, he's holding his own for a lot of the game, too, right? He's maxed out for a lot of the game. Sure, he's not getting the bases that he wants, but he still has a lot, right? Like, if Maru flubs for a moment, you could see RagnaroK kind of taking control.
I don't know if RagnaroK's supposed to be trying to play this kind of game. You know? I mean, he looks good, and that's exciting and all, but Maru pretty much doesn't lose to any Zergs in these types of games to begin with.
Maru pretty much doesn't lose to any Zerg in any type of game to begin with.
The game that he did manage to win, RagnaroK against Maru, was with a good counterattack, but I feel like we needed something to happen in the mid-game. If the game goes into the late game, that's it. Coffin music playing, but who is it for? We're going to find out.
Probably RagnaroK.
Probably RagnaroK.
Yeah.
Now,
RagnaroK versus Maru. Coffin music now.
Okay, guys, RagnaroK needs to win 2 games in a row. Maru just won, and then we have cemented our final 8 players for the round of 8. And game 2 is ready. Let's hop into that now.
전투 준비 완료. 진에어 그레이저 마루 조성주. 라그나로크 신이범.
By the way, this
Yes.
marks the longest amount of time we've ever seen Maru go without proxy racks.
Makes sense.
Well, I made that up, but I'm sure it's true.
No, I believe that. This is 3-hatch play.
Yeah, that's actually funny if he makes it the 3rd hatch. Okay. Because I was actually going to say before this started that, wouldn't that be funny if you are scouting so hard for the proxy racks that you go hatch.
Yeah.
Finally, right? Because you've really trained them that you are looking so hard that doing it would be so stupid.
Yeah. By the way, it's not the reaction play. I'm sorry. I saw the drone going out. I thought, oh,
that would have been a very cool.
that'd be a cool plot twist. Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know, man. I mean, it just Maru seems to be too strong so far. He's proven that he can screw up and lose, but overall, he's just
he should
too
be
fast.
He's the best terror in the world. He needs to be too strong for everybody.
Yeah.
Except the best of the other 2 races. That's how we keep the golden parity.
SCV ready.
In this game, I imagine the early makeup of it, although the builds might deviate a little bit, probably a lot of the same ideas, excuse me. Probably, you know, Hellion's coming out, trying to kill off some creep tumors, trying to stay back. Maybe he'll get a drone kill or not. And just him slowly macroing up and applying pressure and just trying not to overextend. I think when Maru knows he has to win, he prefers these types of games. I actually think this will again be probably a very long game unless RagnaroK slips up somewhere.
Yeah, unless RagnaroK maybe wants to try to mix it up and catch him like in a 3 command center game. Right? It felt like that's what he was kind of looking for with those roaches. And then he scouted the starport and was like, not sure we're going to get anything done.
That's right. I almost forgot about those roaches from the early game here.
Yeah. And look, Maru actually staying safe once again, throwing down his starport. So if RagnaroK has a cheese planned, much less likely to work at this point.
RagnaroK, though, has really played pretty impressively. In some ways, I feel like this is his best. Oh, nice. Gets the Reaper, actually. That's cool. I feel like
he gets the tumor as well, which is also cool.
I feel like this is one of RagnaroK's best GSL days yet, though, to be honest.
Yeah, he had a couple good days last year, but this is he's playing very well.
Yeah, I mean, this is the group of death, and he is actually adding to that. It's not just these other 3 amazing players in this.
Yeah, he's doing better than Zest. Zest didn't win any games today.
Yeah.
RagnaroK's won 3 games. That's like 3 more games than Zest won.
Now, are we going to have any Muta tech here or anything like that? You know, that last game, it was really Roach Ravager comp early on, which seemed to be fine for the start, but then eventually when it was stimmed Marauders and the Medivacs and everything else, you don't really have that much to punish. Whereas, you know, when you go for Mutalisks, when you start to win a fight, if you win the fight, then you can punish the Medivacs, and I think that overall puts the Terran behind, you know?
Yeah, it's tricky, right? Because everything has its ups and downs.
Yeah, there's pros and cons for each of the different mixtures of units you can make.
Mutas feel like the one that Maru could potentially overpower the fastest, but also it gives you kind of that big range of possibly punishing him and getting ahead.
I like this Liberator right away. But it is right underneath a Spore, so he'll have to back out there.
Hellion's not finding any way in at the moment.
No, RagnaroK with pretty good defense so far. The only real victory was that Marine that killed the Overlord.
Oh, Liberator moves around, actually doing all right. Getting a couple drones, getting a couple larvae.
Yeah,
worthwhile.
I like it. 1-1 is now starting here for Zerg.
Ahead
and
of
the
Marus.
Hellions. Yeah. Can he actually get any kills here?
Very quick pull from RagnaroK, and he turns around.
He has not sent the Liberator home just yet. There's the 1-1 upgrades from Maru now. As we see this game propel itself into a macro game, nobody appears to be all in. All the tech seems to lend itself to a healthy unit comp later on. And with the 1-1 here, I think we are going to see Mutas possibly made.
In the games he's gone Mutas so far, he delayed 1-1 to get more Mutas more quickly.
Oh, did he? Is that right?
Yeah, so looking at this game, it feels like a Ling Bane game into Ultra, but it could be into Hydra, and it could be into later Mutas too, right? You could just go for the heavier ground and then get Mutas just slightly later. That's not as popular with Muta openers right now, but that is what it is. It is going to be Muta. That's really cool. I actually really like this change, Because the game that he won with the mutas, remember the fourth just died instantly. It's like you you can't hold it. He's up 2 upgrades. You don't have Baneling speed. It's not going to happen. Here he's going to have the 2 upgrades. He's going to have the Baneling speed, and then he's going to have the mutas too. Just a little bit later. They're probably not going to do damage harassment-wise, but they can help out in a lot of these fights.
Sure. Okay, we're going to see a push through this bridge area over here. Now, there's some Banes being made. And you can set some tanks up on the left side of this bridge and shell the Zerg on the right. And actually, this push is already doing way more damage than I thought. I think RagnaroK was not quite appreciating how much was actually over here.
God.
Oh, man.
It's actually great micro
This is
from Maru
amazing.
here. Ridiculous.
Look at this.
Can't believe how much he just killed.
He actually has Lings now running from the Marines. It was a funny situation, too, because the tank was surrounded but still got some splash damage shots off on the Banes.
And he was also up 2 upgrades there. Now Maru's going to catch up in upgrades. Boy.
Great pickup again. Reinforcements should be coming behind this.
I love that. You see how RagnaroK instantly extended his creep as Maru started to run, and then Maru was like, no, none of that, and then drops him out.
Now there's more Banes being made, and they actually have the speed upgrade here. The mutas are coming, but this is a tough call here. RagnaroK is going to have to try to take a fight off of, without the Mutalist unit composition. Look at this.
None of the Banelings connect, and look at this. He just slips out of where those Zerglings are.
And now, even as the mutas hatch, there's not that many Banelings there to complement them.
Well, I like this style that RagnaroK went for, but it seems to not be paying off even a little bit.
Good.
He's just going to win right here.
Maru is just perfect. Look at this.
I love that he's fighting the mutas before finishing the hatch, so the broodlings don't come and get him.
Yeah.
My God. He's pretty good, isn't he?
Yes, he is, Artosis. And I think that's it. He's basically come out on top in every single battle. There's no Banelings. All right, there's going to be Banelings in a little bit.
Killed everything.
Yeah. He just willed his way through this. Pushes right up to the Banes, forcing many to cancel. Now on to the Evo chambers.
Oh my God. They're not even upgrading right now. RagnaroK in a terrible position. I'm looking at his face right now. He's got this kind of sullen, dejected look.
Well, he is dead. You know, this goes to show you how good Maru is in every fight.
God. He's like a snowball going down a hill, Tasteless. He just gets stronger and stronger and stronger.
I mean, the way that he avalanched that win was so sick. Look, I mean, even these little things, you could see make him one of the best players as far as control goes. Like, he doesn't attack the hatch because he doesn't want the broodlings to come out.
Yeah.
If he's going to lose the fight, he'll click on it in the last second anyways.
Yeah, leaves it so low that 2 Marines can kill it.
Let's just guarantee the win by then targeting the rest of the mutas and the Lings.
Yeah. He targeted down mutas specifically to get rid of those, reduce the count, and then bam, kill the hatch, get out.
No misclicking there. Furia will now be interviewing Maru, who's the last player to advance to the round of 8. Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, we're going to have an interview with Maru, the final player to secure the round of 8 spot. Congratulations. Thank you. Now you are the last one joining the round of 8. It's your second consecutive round of 8. How do you feel? Well, the group was really hard, for sure. And you know, I had belief that I would advance in second place. I'm really happy. So what do you mean by that? You know, if I advance at the first place, I have to play against Trap, and I don't want that scenario. Because I practiced TVP a lot. You say that you practice the TVZ and TVP a lot. And you showed no mercy against RagnaroK today. And you acquired 2 wins over RagnaroK today. So what makes you strong against RagnaroK? Well, I feel like I'm just really good at TVZ. And playing comfortably is my best idea. And phenomenal harass, and you cut off the enemy's resources. But on the other side, you play so orthodox today. You didn't use any proxy strategies at all. So why did you use that strategy? Well, I mean, Ro told me if I just go for the Also strategy. I should be fine. And RagnaroK actually, I think he anticipated the proxy, so I just went for the normal strategy.
자, 이신영 선수와의 경기 얘기를 좀 더 해볼게요.
Okay, let's talk about the match against Innovation.
저그전 위주로 준비를 했다고 하셨는데
And you did mention that you practiced the TVZ more than the TVT. And Innovation played phenomenally today. What do you think? Well, the first game, you know, it was okay. But the second game, when I saw the battle cruisers coming in, I was really amazed, and I was kind of, you know, out of my mind.
자, 다음 8강 상대는 C조의 1위 원희삭 선수입니다.
And the next player
원희삭 선수,
that you're gonna face is Parting. And Parting has been renowned as your nemesis in the past. How's Parting? Well, I'm always confident. As long as it's not TVT, I should be fine.
자, 슈토 결승전 이후 약 2달 만의 경기였습니다.
After the Super Tournament finals, it was a match in 2 months. Anything you want to say? Well, I'm really happy to have survived the group of death, and I'll try to show a better performance next time. And I'll try to make it to the finals. Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. And congratulations to Maru, filling in that last spot. And now we have our top 8.
Yeah. Definitely a very interesting top 8, but first, our results for today. Only 1-2-1 that first match.
Both the Terrans survived, leaving us with only one Zerg in the final 8.
Yeah, Terrans did very well so far in this tournament.
Good.
And that brings us to no chance of a ZVZ finals. Not that we ever really get that.
Good.
Here. But definitely you can see that kind of shift occurring. Terrans just really doing a great job this season. Definitely could have a Terran champion again.
I'll tell you what, man, when Zerg were looking so insanely strong and really pushed the Protosses and the Terrans to be like, they really had to have everything on point. And I think now that, you know, we're in a different state of StarCraft 2.
That really pays off.
It pays off, you know.
It's very true. You know what I would love to see? Look at this. Okay, Dark versus TY, ridiculous. Parting Maru, ridiculous. Trap Innovation, ridiculous. Deer Cure, that's the weird one. But obviously very strong players there.
Yeah.
This has so much potential for what we get in the finals. I can't even name them all, but there are some good ones, and I would love to see, you know what I really want to see this year? Innovation win one, and then a Maru Innovation Finals to see who wins the G5L trophy. How crazy would that be?
Oh, that would be good. That would be a real treat.
Let's have Innovation Dark in this finals, okay? And then we'll have next season Innovation Maru.
Now, we'll be back at 6:30 p.m. KST on Wednesday for our 2 best of 5s. Look at it. Dark versus TY, and then for dessert, Parting versus Maru.
That's 2 desserts, Tasteless.
I know.
That's 2 desserts.
This is just like cake, and then you're like, but what about ice cream too? And it's like,
yeah.
Do you even know what vitamins are? You know?
Sprinkle them on the ice cream.
That's right.
So, wow, those are just ridiculous matches.
That's going to be fun. I really can't wait for Parting versus Maru as well. Parting, you know, he knows how to beat anybody, and then Dark versus TY. TY looking to be, you know, as always, so insanely strong. But Dark is the guy who's still, he's the guy representing Zerg. The guy who's the world champion is the only guy left for Zerg.
It's very true, very true.
And honestly, I think it's very realistic that Dark still wins this tournament.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
We have a fruit dealer-like story here.
Yeah, that could occur. And, well, the thing is, Maru looks so good against Zerg right now. That would be a crazy match. But
yeah,
Parting has potential to kill Maru, I think. He will come with some crazy builds.
If you only have to beat Maru 3 times in your Parting, it is possible.
3 out of 5?
Sure.
Yeah.
And again, Parting's getting more and more unpredictable.
Yeah.
You know, he just keeps doing very, very tricky builds. And of course, after Wednesday, we'll be back on Saturday, 1 p.m. KST to finish up the other half of the round of 8 as well.
Yeah. And that's going to be some great matches also.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands and wearing masks. And have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
You want it all, you gotta have it. Want the money and the power, automatic. It's a crazy world, dirty streets.